Received a phone call last night about 4:30 this morning. Young lady crying, weeping. Young lady going through all kind of things. She said, I just want to talk to you. I'm like, it's 4:30. She said, I want to talk to you. And you know, I'm like, God knows how to orchestrate. He puts us. Can I be honest with you? If I was at my house and my cell phone rung at 4:30 in the morning with my wife laying beside me, I wouldn't answer that call. Can I just be honest with you? Come on now, we in church, can we help one another? But God worked that thing out while I was at my mother's household last night, and my cell phone rung and I answered it. I saw the ID, saw the name. She was weeping and crying. She said, you know, I got my baby laying on my chest. I said, where you at? You in the bed or you? She's in the living room. I said, what's going on? My husband beat me. Going on for 5 years. He cussed me out, called me all kind of names in front of folk. He embarrassed me. He do me any kind of way. She said, tonight, I just make up my mind, you know, I got my gun right here. She said, you know, this is what I want to do. She said, I want to shoot my baby. Then she said, I'm going to kill myself. She said, because I don't want my baby to know what his mother done. I started weeping. I started saying, God help her. And I started talking to her. It's whatever would come up in my heart, Pastor, I started talking. So a minute, I started talking to her. And as we talked, but she was still distraught. And she was thinking about, you know, I just want, because I'm tired of hurting. We celebrating Jesus. Other folks think about killing themselves. We lifting up Jesus in the church. Folk, we should be reaching, talking about shooting their child and killing themselves. So you wonder why we do what we do. You wonder why we say, get this word, and don't you just stay in the church. Go out there and minister to somebody. Give the word. Lift up somebody's heart. Be available to somebody. So if they do call you at 4:30 in the morning, if they do mess up your sleep, you got a word. She said, I got my gun right here. I said, where you gun? Where y'all thought? She said, it's right here. And you know, me being an ex with the law, I said, you know, any bullets in it? She said, it's lovely. I said, what you need to do? Listen, begin to pray. Pray. I began to encourage her, tell her how beautiful she was. Not in my eyes. Begin to tell her how beautiful she was to God. Begin to tell her how special she was to God. Begin to tell her how much God needed her. Not her children, because right now she wanted to take her children out of the misery. So I began to tell her how much God needed her. How much God was going to use her. And what God was going to do in her situation. I wasn't telling amen what I thought or what I hoped God would do. I was telling what God said in his word. For God said, no weapon that's formed against you shall prosper. God said, no, you establish in righteousness. And why won't it work? Because I am the one that created. So I began to minister to her. And she said, well, we call my mother. I tried to reach her mother, couldn't get her mother. Kept calling. We finally got her mother. Talking. Mother couldn't hear, so we called back. Look at your neighbor and say, you got to be very diligent when dealing with people. You have to stick. She said, I said, look at here, baby, I'll stay with you all night long on the phone. She said, you'll stay all night. I said, we'll talk all night long. That amazed her. You'll take the time out to stay on the phone all night long to talk to me? I said, yes, I will. And we talked until the sun came up. Because this is why Jesus died. This is why he died. This is, amen, the culmination of all that Christianity stands for. There's cornerstones in Christianity. The first thing, it is miracle birth. The second thing, amen, is his miraculous death. And the third thing is when he got up. Come on now, and there's one more we're waiting for him to fulfill. That's when he come back. These are things that we don't back off of as Christians. So we begin to minister. Long story short, a mother talked to her. I talked to her mother. Amen. I got cut off some kind of way and I let them talk. She texted me when I left church. Simple text. She said, thank you for being there. Simple text. Thank you for being there. We deal with stuff every day. But when we gonna be there for somebody? Every day. Ain't nobody in here filthy rich. We got money problems. We've been sick in our bodies. We've been troubled about situations and circumstances. But when are we going to walk in what we know that others can see what we know? It's time. I want to prolong the time. I've been up long enough. Pastor, I can pray. Listen. The only reason why we do what we do, we want you saved. If you don't get a Christmas present, know that you are the present. If don't nobody tell you how wonderful you are, know that you are wonderful. If don't nobody tell you how beautiful you are, already know you are beautiful. See, these are things, amen, that ain't nobody got to pat you on your back and let you know. Because God has already said you're blessed. You're highly favored. You are already ordained in this hour. That's why you're here. So this is what we establish in your hearts and in your minds. You're greater than what you face. And I'm going to tell you something that messes you up. Your situation is not important until you get there. Your condition is never talked about until you show up. Your sickness cannot get any attention until it get with you. The rumor ain't got no power until they mention your name. Y'all miss it. Because they just, you know what happened to so-and-so? They be like, okay, so-and-so. Do you know what happened to Minister Jesus? Say, oh, what happened? You know what happened to Pastor? What happened? Why? Because what makes your condition important. It's you that makes your situation important. It's you that give your condition reason for folks to talk. You the reason why folks still pointing at your house. There she live right there. She live right there. That's why we celebrate Jesus. I want to get you to see what I know. If I can get you to see Jesus, I know he's real. The Bible says the just shall live by faith, not by sight. I got to get you to see what I know. That's my life mission. Birth right here in McCray, Georgia. Come on now. Right here in the house of prayer. There go my daddy right there. There go my mother right there. Raised me up. Hard head. Got in stuff they told me not to get into. I talk back. Am I wrong? Got angry and wouldn't talk no more. So if God can use a hard head like me, if God can save me, turn me around and give me a word, I know God can do it for you. You ain't not compared to me. You weren't walking where I was walking, in what I was in, doing what I was doing. Other told me one time he knew I was messed up from the floor up. He said, anybody can preach. He said, it's time for you to start living something. Yeah, I got mad. I ain't speak to him for about 3 weeks. Then I had to come back and tell him I was mad. What I'm trying to get you to see. God ain't got no problem with you getting upset. Because he know in the end you're going to come back and tell him, Lord, I'm mad with you. I ain't like the way you talk to me. You know me, bro. I'm a man like you, man.